From the Bramble. It's the Diss List with Brandon Dan. 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 Yeah. Woo.
Yes, calm down.
Oh, sit down, everybody. Sit down. It's a weekly program. You see us all the time.
Gosh, Dan, they're
That's
going
Brand. I'm Dan.
nuts
That's
today.
the Diss List theme, and Casey and the Moneymakers really brought it today.
They're
Woo.
good. They are on it today. They're on a heater.
They're on a heater. Yeah. You could feel it in warm-ups.
Yeah,
you know.
You can.
Man, tell us about the program, Brandon.
Well, I will.
Yeah.
We are a simple program. We
Simple.
bring on a guest every single week
Yep.
to bring a top 10 list of their choosing.
Okay.
Whatever they're passionate about, they can come and they can talk to us about it. And Dan and I are going to do our best to poke some holes in it. And at the end of the day, Dan, you're going to get a chance to make some changes and present a new list.
A new
to our
list.
guest.
Yes.
I'm going to get to do the same exact thing. And then the guest bringer, the list bringer.
The guest bringer is going to have to choose one of our lists to be the list.
That's right. We do have some rules here.
Of course,
we
some
can
parameters.
we can each only do 2 flips and 2 replaces.
That's right.
To the list. So the list isn't going to be completely new.
Yeah.
Just
got a little
few
sauce on it.
changes here or there to try to make it the perfect list. That's what we're trying to do here. We are a week out from Halloween.
Yeah, we are. What better
And
time?
What better time to begin talking about the scary movies than right now?
You love a good scary.
I love a
so
scary.
do I.
You love a scary. I love
Yeah.
watching scaries with you.
Oh, it's a fun
And that's
time.
why we decorated
Yeah.
for Christmas this week.
That's right. Merry Christmas,
On
everybody.
the Diss List for those of you that are watching. This is an exciting episode because then we are beginning to bring on some double-deckers. These are
right.
people who have signed up for Bramble Jam Plus.
BrambleJamPlus.com,
And
yeah.
are a part of our community that
That's right.
we have formed over the years with another podcast that we do called Deck the Hallmark.
That's right.
Because we realize those people are pretty darn neat.
And opinionated.
And opinionated.
And that works out well for us.
And it just so happened the first time we're doing this is right around Halloween. So, of course, we got to talk about scary movies. And, of course, we got to bring on Maddie Ice to the group, to the show. Maddie, how are you feeling today? Welcome to the Diss List.
I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I'm pumped, man.
Matt-
This is great.
What makes you an expert? Who do you think you are?
Yeah, let's hear your cred for scary movies.
Yeah. Why you? Why now?
Well, I watch a lot of them, and
Yep.
I'm old. So I think you put those two things together, it just kind of works out.
Yeah. And you are wearing a spooky sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I can see. So
Yeah.
that works out
The
well.
YouTubes,
That
for
works out
sure.
well. All right. Now, as you were making this list, obviously this is very hard. This is pretty wide ranging when we're talking about scary movies.
You're going to anger somebody.
You're
here.
going to anger somebody. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
As you were making your list, were there any qualifications that you were kind of working with internally to help you narrow this down? Or was it, hey, if it's considered horror or scary at all, it's fair game?
I actually made 2 lists.
Okay.
I made my favorites list, and I narrowed it down to a cool 27.
Okay.
Wow.
And then I said, well, let me try a different tact. I'm going to make an essentials list. Like, if my nephew came to me and said, Uncle Matt, I want to get into watching some horror movies, what are the 10 I should watch? So I made a list, and I found that like 6 or 7 of the 10 of each were the same.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
like, I'm just gonna stick with my favorites. And then there were a couple of essentials that, would be on a list that I would recommend to someone who doesn't usually watch these.
Yep.
And we'll see if any of those are ones that you add to the list.
And without giving anything away, like, horror could be split up into so many types. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like psychological horror, supernatural horror, slasher. What is your choice there? Like, what's your, I know that you they're all great, but like if you prefer like your kind of flavor of horror.
I think it's changed as I've gotten older. Honestly, like I primarily slasher.
Okay.
Are like
Yeah.
where I sort of lean. But when I was younger getting into this, the gorier the better, the more racy the better. But as I've gotten older, I think the ones that like make you think, like just think A24 style.
Okay.
They're a little bit more psychological, a little bit more edgy. But anything in between. And anytime you have a masked dude walking around with a knife, I'm probably going to be
All right.
watching it.
Take
Listen,
note, everyone, of what's coming.
we're simple people. We see someone walking around in a mask
with a knife, and we're in for that movie.
That's exactly right. All right, we got to get going. We got to get going here. Top 10 scary movies. We're going to start with number 10. Matt, take it away.
All right, my number 10. I had to include it, even though I have heard both of you, not super hot on this in other conversations.
Oh boy.
So I'm expecting like this might be one that gets removed, but I love this movie. It is 2008's The Strangers. It starred Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman.
What a dude.
I went and found a little tagline. It's remote getaway becomes a night of terror as 3 masked strangers invade.
Yeah.
I just liked like the randomness of it and the fact that they're secluded, and like I thought the performance was really strong. And when I watched this, I host a Halloween party every year where a bunch of us get together and eat food, hang out, watch movies, and they're all pretty desensitized when it comes to horror. And this one actually creeped everybody out. No one had seen it. We watched it collectively, and it was great. It was perfect.
Have you seen this movie, Brandon?
I have seen this movie. I was going to ask you, Matt. Obviously, they've done this movie a few times now. Most recently, even this year, with the sequel of the new one that came out.
Did you get to chapter 2 yet?
I did not get to chapter 2, and I'm worried I'm not going to get to it.
Yeah.
Chapter 1 was pretty bad. But what are your thoughts on the franchise as a whole and what they've kind of done with it?
I did not like the second one, which I believe was called Pray at Night. The reboot, I enjoyed. I liked the world building. But I really like, for me, that original one is just like, that's it. It makes it scary. There's no motive. For these people to be like, they literally say in there, like, why are you doing this? And they said, you answered, like you answered the door. And like, how terrifying is that? Like,
I will say this about this movie. He said he liked if somebody's in a mask with a knife. This is the purest version of that.
This is mask with knife.
And it is the scariest part of this movie to me. And this is not a knock on this movie, was the trailer. When you realize in the trailer that they've basically given you the premise of this movie, and there's no hiding. There's no twist. They're daring you to come watch the movie. They're like, they're just going to show up in masks and kill some folks. And also, no one has a teardrop hang on their eyelid like Liv Tyler. Like it is a very impressive feature that she has where she can do this thing crying, and it's like her tears reach just full saturation and then just barely hanging on. So this movie does have that effective environment. I just, like, for me, it is a 100% a style over substance thing for me with this, that it never connected, or maybe I just was so uncomfortable by the premise of this movie that I just didn't want to like it. And I would be willing to admit that it's much easier to watch a horror movie when there's a terrible person out there who's terrible for a reason and is hunting certain people for a reason, or it's demonic, or it's, something. This is just, like you said, like mask outside, you answer the door. Now this is happening. And so I think the reasons that it bothers me enough to not be on my list are bugs for me and their features for you, because this would not be on my list for sure with all the classic horror movies out there. But if those bugs sound like features and you're a big horror fan, I can see how you got there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that this is a better idea than it is a full-fledged movie. I kind of would have liked to see like a short version of this, because the movie kind of wears out its welcome a little bit for me as a whole, but genuinely a frightening concept.
Yeah.
That you could just get a knock at the door and there's somebody in a mask, a few people in a mask, and they're just there to mess with you and then eventually kill you. And so that's tough. I don't know what to do with this, to be honest with you, Matt, but
two of the people in masks are women, which we don't traditionally see.
That's true.
That's
true. I guess a lot of times the fun of horror movies for me is the movie theater experience. And I didn't get to this one in the movie theater, which probably hurt it, but also it's also just how outlandish it is. And you know, this movie is not outlandish at all.
Yeah.
You know, I just like, I think that's probably it for me is that I don't really want to think about it.
There you go. Well, maybe that's the sign of a good scary.
So, yeah,
I guess.
maybe there's something to be said for that. Yeah.
All right, moving on to number 9. What do you got, Maddie?
All right, number 9. I had to get this guy on the list. I struggled with whether I wanted to put the original or the remake, and while I was more terrified by the original in terms of the main character, the main villain, the latest one was just, I think, a better crafted movie, and it was a better adaptation of the book. And I'm talking about Stephen King's It.
Oh boy,
with the 2017 version. Tim Curry's Pennywise.
Amazing.
It left a mark. Like, I can't see a storm drain without almost crapping myself. You know, like, I know, like, we all float down there, and I don't want to go down there unless there are donuts. But anyways,
that's how they get you.
Yeah.
Like, left a scar. But like, I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I love the book. And when I went to the movie in 2017, it felt like I was seeing, even though it was time shifted, it took place in a different era. Like, I felt like I was seeing the book I loved sort of brought to life. So that's why I chose that one.
I also would say that the original one is a miniseries, so I don't know if it would be even playable here.
That's a great point.
I don't know what your parameters were.
This is a good way to get Pennywise on the list, that's for sure.
Did you see this with me or no? I saw it at the Camelot with Panda and a few other people.
I don't remember if I saw it with you, but I definitely saw it in the theaters, and I love this movie. I love Pennywise. I love
Bill Skarsgård. Great.
That's the thing. Like, as good, like, it's almost insane to be like, all right, let's do it again. Let's see if somebody can compete with Tim Curry. And then
Bill Skarsgård does it.
Yeah. Quite well.
Yeah.
This movie is really scary. Just genuinely a great idea that there's, like, obviously clowns are kind of just scary. They're just weird, just make you feel uncomfortable. And then come to find out, he's everything that you're afraid of. It's just all of it. Just all of it. And so just an amazing premise. I love this movie. I love it. Number 9 might be too low for me.
This movie would make my top 10. And if you are talking about a movie, if I'm ranking my favorite theatrical experiences with horror movies, like seeing it in the theater, this is up there with another one. I'm fascinated to see if it's on your list. From just being in a room full of people experiencing all of this together, which is a big deal. I hate they made a second one because the second one is not nearly as good. This movie is an amazing horror movie. It's also an amazing coming of age movie, and that's credit to Stephen King and the fact that this is done. Andy Muschietti, I believe, directed this movie, and they've constructed it, which everyone says is actually, I've not read the book. It's a hard book to really make a movie. This first movie, the performances, this is in the heyday of the beginning of Stranger Things too, folks.
Yeah.
And this is like so much better than Stranger Things. Like it's so good. Very, very scary. Like in a way that's entertaining. Like I didn't leave the theater worried that Pennywise was going to pop out. I left the theater, went, man, what a ride. What a fun time. The whole time, opening night, people are jumping throughout this movie. 2 or 3 iconic scenes, including the opener.
The opener is just
the
phenomenal.
Opener is unbelievable
Just
in
phenomenal.
this movie. Yeah, come on, man. It's got to be on this list. And I know there's some people who are old school horror fans that are like, this movie was made in the last 10 years. Don't care. This is a great movie. I love this movie. I probably think it's too low too.
Listen, I think even old school fans would just be happy that Pennywise is represented in any shape or form. Even if you prefer Tim Curry's, Pennywise belongs on this list. And so if his 2017's It is 2017
Yeah, I'm jacked
could
about
be Space Jam. We could have done Space Jam because Pennywise is in that.
Yes.
Also a scary movie because it's really bad.
Terrifyingly
but so
bad.
that's something to think about maybe if you want to replace
I'm
Pennywise
jacked for the
Pennywise.
HBO show.
Yes.
The prequel. I mean, like, I'm all in on that. That's how good this is.
Which kind of shocked that they're rolling it out like
after Halloween.
so late. Like you'd think that they would have wanted to capitalize on
Build up to Halloween,
Yep.
put the finale on the week of Halloween. Yeah,
But what do we know? We're not TV executives.
We don't know.
We don't know anything. Anyways, great pick. Excited to see what's next.
That's a really good pick here, Maddie. Really good pick.
Number 8, where are we going?
Well, playing on what you said about how, people old school fans complaining that this was made newer. First of all, I want to point out that I have entries on the list. I have at least one entry from every decade from 1960
to 2020.
So I've got it covered to the 2020s.
Wow.
All right.
I've got it covered. So if you're an old school fan, you've got something on here, which leads me into number 8. We're going back to 1973.
Yeah.
It is the original The Exorcist.
Oh, you're playing that already.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is a movie when I watched it in high school, and as I already said, when I was younger and getting into horror, it had to be goofy, it had to be racy, it had to be gory. So when I watched The Exorcist the first time, I was bored out of my mind.
Sure.
And I knew,
Matt.
I'm like, you're wrong, Matt. Your reaction is wrong. So then I believe it was Fox had a television show called The Exorcist, and I watched the first episode.
Oh, we did too. We
Yes.
got interviewed by Fox.
great.
I
Good and
literally,
creepy.
we watched a
We
premiere
watched
of
the
it at
screener at
ATX,
ATX,
Festival.
and we got caught in the YouTube interviews
I
afterwards.
totally forgot that show existed.
And it was
Holy
really
cow.
good.
Yeah, it was
the
really
first
good.
episode was really
Anybody
good.
who likes this stuff should watch that show.
Yeah.
There were 2 seasons, and they ended on a cliffhanger, unfortunately, but both seasons gold. But anyways, it made me go back to watch the movie. I'm like, I have to give this another shot because I know I screwed up. It was on me. And oh my gosh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I've listened to the audiobook. I've watched the movie multiple times. It is good and scary. And that spider walk scene down the stairs
Are you kidding
that
me?
was not in the original version, but they put it back in. Oh my gosh, chills down my spine. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And Linda Blair's performance is outstanding, as is Ellen
Unbelievable.
Burstyn's. Just so good and creepy and perfect for this time of year.
Bran?
Listen, it's amazing. An amazing movie. And I think, I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to say it. I feel like all demon possession movies since have just trying to be The Exorcist in a sense. There's something about, obviously, demon possession, scary.
What?
Scary.
Yeah.
Get kids in the mix, freaking forget about it. This movie's terrifying. And number 8, wow. Number 8 for The Exorcist. I can already hear the emails coming in.
I don't think it is.
Alonso just threw something against it.
I don't think it is crazy to say that many people consider this the best horror movie of all time.
Yeah.
And it's up there for me. It is. I think very few horror movies, like when you say the name of the movie, do I remember it based on not a scary scene? But I just see a man with a hat and a lamppost.
Yeah.
And I this movie is iconic. It is, people talk about Citizen Kane, and if you've never seen Citizen Kane, you go watch it and you're like, what's the big deal? Well, what's the big deal is they change movies. You know what I mean? If you go watch Citizen Kane and you're like, well, that was just kind of Rosebud.
It's not Citizen Kane or anything.
It's, so it was an introspective character development of the book. They change movies. They literally changed movies. The Exorcist, and then Jaws comes out a few years later.
Sure.
And 2 different types of, I don't want to watch this, but the lines are around the block and people are crying in the theater and they're it changed. Horror movies were the gamble and now they're the sure thing, guys. Horror movies are a sure thing. Give me $8 million and I'll turn it into $32 million.
Yeah.
Just Blumhouse made an entire business off of it. That's because of The Exorcist.
Yeah.
It's because of The Exorcist. I'm sorry. This movie is it's not the first horror movie, okay?
Sure.
It isn't. But this movie launches 1,000 ships. It just does. And boy, is it great. Yeah. I just so many seen this movie, iconic. If you've never seen it, high recommend. It's one of the best horror movies of all time.
Yeah, and
the best horror movies of all time.
Just still very scary.
Yes.
It's the scares hold up.
Yeah, I think
unlike Citizen Kane. Is that what you're saying?
Just the scares do not hold up in Citizen Kane.
No. But the scares hold up in this movie. Citizen Kane does not hold up as a movie.
Citizen Kane, for me, holds up.
That's not what you were saying earlier.
Okay. All right. Whatever you say, buddy. I think, you always are like Citizen Kane's overrated if you say it's 1 and it could be 7. I get, I'm not saying Citizen Kane's the best movie of all time, but the way it revolutionized the motion picture is pretty important. And I think this for the horror genre is just as important. And so I get it. If you're more of a slasher guy, this more of a demon possession movie, or if you're saying that, the other movies maybe had more scares or more entertainment, but this movie is foundational to what we're doing here. And it's amazing. Had to be on the list. Had to be.
Definitely.
At 8 though?
Yeah. That's like a Mount Rushmore horror movie, guys. I mean, it just is. It really is.
We'll see.
All right.
All right. Number 7. Where are we going?
All right. Well, number 7, we are visiting the 2020s.
Oh, boy.
Wow, man.
We're going to 2022 to Zach Kreger's Barbarian.
Yeah.
I saw this in the theater and there was no one in the theater.
Wow.
Maybe one other person. And I remember just going, oh my gosh, I wish I had seen this with an audience. And then we watched it at that party I mentioned, and everyone lost, they lost it. They were jumping when they should have, and I got my experience that I had yearned for. It's hard talking about this movie because I think to do yourself a service, you need to go in as cold as possible.
Absolutely.
Don't watch any trailers. Don't read any reviews. The elevator pitch that I've given people is: woman arrives at her Airbnb to find it double booked and hijinks ensue.
Don't even look up who's in it. Don't look up who's in the movie. Yeah.
There are so many WTF moments in this movie. Every 5 to 10 minutes, you're going, what the? And it just continues to the end. It's so good. It's so much fun. And there's humor. There's some moments of levity, but there's also you're gonna be scared for sure.
Zach Kreger is up and coming. He just released Weapons. I mean, he is doing
also
some
fantastic,
unique stuff. It really is. It's some unique stuff in the horror game. I don't want to give anything away either. There is a scene in the movie, and it's the hardest I've ever laughed in a horror movie. And just thinking about it does make me laugh. It also continues. It continues to surprise in ways. It builds tension great. The use of sound in this movie is unbelievable. The finale is just grotesque in the best possible way. People that don't like the finale but like the rest of this movie, I just question why you watched the movie to begin with, because it is a poker game of grotesqueness and surprises, and it ends with an ultimate grotesque. You just need to go and watch the movie. Yeah. I think you're right, Matt. I don't know if I'm ready to put this in my top 10 best horror movies of all time. I don't know. I don't know if I am or not, but man, is it good. And I saw it in the theater and it was pretty empty as well. And
we saw it together.
Yeah, we did. It was the two of us. Was there anybody else?
I don't know if there was anyone else. Maybe a one or two other.
And so that might be, my recollection of it is packed house. And so I do have that in the back of my head, but
it, the movie, not it, this movie.
No, I have I have nothing bad to say about this movie. I think it's better than Weapons. I think this is a really, really great movie. So,
it's hard because I love this movie. I love Weapons. I think I do personally, I give the edge on movies that I like more to Weapons, but Barbarian's a scarier movie. And I adore this movie. 2022? Definitely top 3 for me in 2022. Wow. I think I still have my letterbox for that year, but I
can't believe we're getting to talk about it. I got to be honest. I didn't see it coming.
I love this movie so much. I love this movie so much. And as I was thinking about, as we were approaching this was a movie that I was like, I kind of want to include it if it's not on the list. So I'm happy that it's on the list, because I probably would have brought it myself because of how much I love it. So happy to see it on the list. I guess it's the number 6, and then we'll take a break after that. Does that sound good to everybody?
And in my head, I'm thinking, what decade has more than, because there's only 2 decades that get more than one movie on the list, right? And so and then there's some classics we haven't mentioned. I have a lot. I'm as excited about moving forward as I've ever been, Matt. What's number 6?
Number 6, we're going to 1996. A little director named Wes Craven brought us a film. Scream.
Yeah, it is.
Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, Rose McGowan, Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, Jamie Kennedy, Drew Barrymore. It was the 90s all in one movie. It redefined the slasher genre. It brought it back to the forefront. It was super meta. I reference it almost daily, easily.
Man.
maybe multiple times a day. Every time I say I'll be right back, like I have to feel like Jamie Kennedy or Matthew Lillard. I'm sorry. Like it was so much fun. I saw it in theaters. I didn't see it in first run theater. I didn't see it until it was in the budget theater. Like I paid $1.70 for this movie, but I saw it every night that week in the theater for $1.70. So I feel like that counts towards.
Yeah, you did a whole. It was
That's
7 nights.
I could watch this movie over and over and over. It's so good.
Yeah. Brandon, you've seen this movie.
I've seen Scream. So, what's interesting is you talked about how like you were a slasher boy for a long time and that was kind of it for you. I was late to the slasher game. I wasn't somebody
This is a good gateway slasher.
It is a good gateway slasher. I wasn't somebody who was like, I don't know, really intrigued by slasher films
Like
until
Jason, Michael Myers, and Freddy Krueger.
until honestly
that generation of films that existed before you were born.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so when these movies started getting remade, I was like, you know what? I want to give these movies a chance. And so I went back and I became a slasher boy. I loved a slasher. And Scream's a good one. Scream is a good slasher film. I mean, look, how many times as I was a kid when this movie came out, right? And so how many times did I see this stinking mask on Halloween night for years? Still to this day, you'll see it. But there was a time when this was the costume. Like if you were going to do a scary costume, which was never my thing, mainly because my mom wouldn't let me, then you would do this, right? You would, and then there was the one where the ghost face also, you could do a thing and blood would be in the mask. That was pretty dope. And so a great movie. A great number 6. I like that.
Scream's amazing. It's an amazing film. In fact, Wes Craven, who was the father of horror movies for a previous generation, I don't know who got in his head. I don't know if this was him, but those movies of the 70s and 80s, the John Carpenter movies, the slasher movies, their camp was in how they didn't wink. They didn't wink at the camera. They were ultra serious in their practical effects and this blood just squirting everywhere. This movie, also Wes Craven, father of a lot of that genre, this movie is the ultimate winking movie, right? Like its entertainment value is that it is a winking slasher movie. And it is so entertaining. Maybe the most entertaining horror movie I've ever seen. I would go so far as to say, aside from one of the sequels, it's the only horror franchise I know with 6+ sequels where all of them are worth your time. I really dig Scream 4. I dig that movie a lot. 5, 6,
really do too.
Both really, really good. This is a franchise that is worthy of, even though it borrows a lot from the genre, as it will tell you, through its bad guy in the first movie, what all it borrows from previous scary movies, stands on its own. And this movie was revolutionary. I wasn't allowed to see it. I was 13 years old. I wasn't allowed to see it. I didn't get to go to the theater to see this movie. When I saw it, I was still blown away. Just an amazing movie. I still look forward to the new ones. I think the new ones are, Saw is a great horror movie, but the sequels really started to die. This franchise is pretty reinvigorated, and I still enjoy watching. And iconic, Ghostface is iconic, and
Ghostface killer.
It doesn't exist without some other movies that preceded it. But boy, does it make it its own thing, and does it in such a memorable way. Scream's a great movie. Okay, if you had it higher, I wouldn't be mad. Great movie.
Things are getting scary around here. Downright spooky, some might say. I need to take a break to kind of catch my breath. We're going to be right back here on The Disc List. With Brandon Dan! Yeah!
Woo!
I got to be honest, Casey. I didn't mention Casey's costume. Downright inappropriate for
it. It really is weird. It's weird.
We're going to do another Halloween episode next week, Casey.
He emailed last week about assless chaps. I said no. But some reason that didn't stop him.
Casey.
It was crazy.
We're going to do another Halloween episode next week. Not again.
Not again.
We're not going to do this again.
I don't care what kind of cowboy you are.
And I'll go ahead and spoil it. Next week, we're talking Halloween candy, everybody.
Wowzers.
We don't do a lot of spoiling around here.
We really celebrate Halloween hard here at the Disc List.
We love Halloween.
Unbelievable.
All right, let's get to this top 10 scary movie list brought
He's
to
come with
us.
some heavy hitters for his first
He
10
has.
too.
Matt's doing
After The Strangers, it was really all uphill, downhill, uphill, whichever's better.
whichever's better
Whichever's
for what
better,
you're saying.
yes.
Here's what he's got so far: 10, The Strangers; 9, It; 8, The Exorcist; 7, Barbarian; 6, Scream. A really good range of scaries.
Very impressive. This guy knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff. That gets us to number 5. Maddie, take it away.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to apologize because I didn't get the memo about the chaps. So
Yeah, it's on you.
Well, we
good thing
can't.
this is just chest up.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can't see it,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
you know
Little
whatever
awkward.
you're doing
But
there.
go to youtube.com, see what happens. You know what I mean?
Maybe at the end of the episode, you give us a little shout.
So number 5, we're going back to the 70s, boys. We're going to
Yes.
1975. We're going to the original blockbuster.
Oh boy!
Oh, it's Jaws.
Steven Spielberg's Jaws.
Let him do it.
Sorry.
God.
Yeah,
How about
excited.
slashers? Jaws is just a slasher that swims.
Yeah.
Swim
Just
slasher.
a mindless monster that is like, you get in his path, he's gonna eat you. Like, that's just how it is. This movie is fantastic. I have gotten the opportunity to see it in theaters a number of times over the last few years, and in a theater with an audience, it is outstanding. The first time I saw it in the theater, it was a lot of parents bringing their kids, and I actually found myself watching their reactions almost
fun.
as much as the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
I've also seen it in IMAX, and it was outstanding. You know, it was great. So Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, Lorraine Gary, brought by Steven Spielberg. It's just so good. It's so good.
Yeah. Brian, what do you think of Jaws? I've never really talked to you about Jaws.
I-
the poster's up in my living room, so
Yes.
I'll let you go first.
I know that you love Jaws. I really appreciate Jaws.
Oh, God.
I really appreciate Jaws. I don't love Jaws.
God, you're just wrong. Your opinion's not valid.
Jaws is a very good movie.
Your opinion's not valid.
Okay, you want to get mad at me? How you felt about The Exorcist initially, I felt about Jaws.
God.
Like, good, smidge boring. Smidge boring, but I get it. It's a great movie. Smidge boring. But, you know, interesting thing about Jaws is it transcends time. Like, my kids ask about Jaws all the time.
Have you let them see it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I have a framed Jaws movie poster
Yes.
in my living room. My kids, to show you how iconic that movie poster is, my kids, there was a phase where they asked if they could watch Jaws every day.
Yeah.
And I've not shown them Jaws yet.
What are you
Partially
doing?
because I wanted them to be a little bit older to really appreciate it. But the other part of me believes that there's a chance they're going to say it's boring, and I don't think my heart could take it.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I don't.
That's why the same reason why you haven't watched it with me.
No, you're a lost cause.
Yeah, I'm a lost boy.
Guys, Steven Spielberg is America's greatest entertainer, probably of all time. Pound for pound.
I agree with that.
There's no one out there that doesn't like at least one Steven Spielberg movie.
100%.
This is a movie where a studio gave a kid, a 20-something year, young 20s, who'd made one TV movie. They gave him a giant budget to make a movie, and he proceeded to tank that budget and go over. He wanted an actual shark animatronic puppet in actual water. It was a disaster. It's
never gonna break, right?
The shark stopped working. They're
Oh, man.
sitting around just burning dollars. And then what this guy does is he makes a movie where he scares you without showing you the shark. You want to talk about changing the game. How many movies have copied this idea of you being scared of the unknown?
Waiting for it.
More than this movie. Yes, original blockbuster. Yes, completely changed cinema and blockbuster cinema and all that stuff. But the filmmaking here, guys, is just absurd.
You sure?
The John Williams score
iconic.
is just unbelievable.
Iconic.
By the time you see the shark, you're done.
You're done.
You're done. You don't have anything left. It's almost a relief to see this man-eating giant shark that at the time looked so very real. This is the reduction sauce of entertainment horror. That is what this movie is. It is a masterpiece of movie making and cinema itself. This isn't a top horror movie. This is a top movie.
Yeah, sure.
Steven Spielberg has gone on to do, in my opinion, better movies, but I don't think any of them get made without what he had to do. Like, just a necessity, whatever that thing is. Invention is the necessity of whatever it is.
You've got it.
Mother of invention. You got it. All those words
Shout
together.
out, Mom.
Opioid of the masses. That is what Steven Spielberg did in Jaws, and he used that. You can feel when Steven Spielberg's at his best. He doesn't have a $300 million budget, or at least he doesn't think he does. He's thinking like he's making Jaws. When he's making Jurassic Park and you could make all of those dinosaurs as computer characters, and he's like, no, let's build a effing T-Rex. That is when Spielberg's at his best. When he's like, what if we didn't have the money? How would I make this movie? And boy, oh boy, is this movie amazing. It's a Mount Rushmore horror movie for me, and I'm so glad it's on.
Can I ask you a question about Jaws? You would probably know this because you love the movie. What was the like the waiting to show you the shark? Was that did that come out of a necessity of like the shark not being able to be used
and
very much?
I'm sure Steven Spielberg had a plan before him, but he was in it. I mean, like he's probably doing drugs and like he's really young, and he, you know what I mean, like. That movie, he's probably what, 24? I don't know. He was very young when he made the movie. But when the shark, the things he wanted from the shark didn't work, like the idea of building that suspense, and you shoot that first scene early at night where that woman swimming and she gets killed, and you just are able to create an environment. Yeah. Talk about the ultimate movie. Like I've seen this movie in theater and in theaters, the 3D version, which was fun too. It was in 40X for a week here, and I missed it. But that would have been pretty amazing too.
It just celebrated 50 years.
Because even when you're watching, you kind of are, the camera kind of moves with the water, in a really fun way. Fun. And then 3 titans of acting, not great human beings, but titans of acting, and are just, oh man, what a showcase.
Number 5.
I don't know what we're doing. Jaws was at 5.
I mean, you're not hurting my feelings.
Not a top 4 movie. Jaws, ladies and gentlemen. Right. There better be some winners up here, Matty Ice.
Strangers the Deuce at 4.
We'll see.
The Fog, number 3. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you already brought up Space Jam.
There you go.
That's true.
Featuring the Looney Tunes.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right, number 4, hit us.
Number 4, we're going to the 80s. We're going to 1987. Joel Schumacher, Richard Donner, The Lost Boys.
Okay.
Starring Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick.
Kiefer, all that.
It's a vampire movie. It's very stylized for the 80s. It's like a time capsule. I love vampire stories. I love vampire stories. And to me, this is the vampire story I judge other vampire stories against. I know some people might be like, what? But it is. And partly maybe because it was one of my first, I don't know. But like, I love this movie and I watch it. I try to watch it every couple of years. But it's just so much fun. It's funny. And there's a couple moments that I wouldn't necessarily call them scary, but like edge of your seat suspense, I would say probably. But for the longest time, Kiefer Sutherland was a vampire to me. Till he was Jack Bauer, he was David the Vampire.
That's fair.
I could not make him be something else.
So is the scary here really dependent? Because this is the first movie that I hadn't seen yet. I haven't seen this movie. Sorry, it also says Guns and Ships. I apologize. Just ignore that. It's a template situation. Shout out Hamilton.
Kiefer takes the horse by the reins.
Yes.
Makes it redder. Red coat's redder with bloodstains. That's what we need to know about this movie.
Guns and Ships. Is this the scariness of this movie? Is it dependent on how you feel about vampires in general?
Yeah, probably.
All right. So if vampires are like a scary idea to you, then you're probably okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to add about this.
Are definitely, I would say the vampires in this are probably scarier than like, I'm not excluding Nosferatu, the recent Nosferatu, like how vampires have been depicted in Hollywood, the last decade or so. So I'm looking at you, Twilight.
Yeah.
Scarier than Twilight. Okay.
Things are a little sharper in The Lost Boys, I would say.
Okay.
Like it's definitely more in the horror realm,
I'm definitely intrigued. There's a lot of names you just threw out there. That would
great
make me very
soundtrack too.
Okay. The soundtrack's a banger. If you would, in my experience with The Lost Boys, if someone were to be like, Dad, what were the early 1980s like? You could maybe put this movie on and you would have a pretty decent idea. Not only is it every actor who like is in their heyday in the 80s, not that Kiefer Sutherland doesn't go on to do a bunch more stuff, but also the soundtrack and also like all the fog everywhere and like how the movie is shot. And there's a comic book store and there's a bunch happening here. It's not scary. You know what I mean? It's not a scary movie. And so I know it is about vampires. I think in my opinion, the movie isn't very scary. It's the least scary movie that we've talked about so far. I think by a good margin.
Okay.
But I can tell that it means a lot to Matt. I think it means a lot to Matt. And I'm not saying it's a bad movie. And you got Richard Donner, who's done The Goonies, who's done The Lethal Weapon. You've got Joel Schumacher, who's done all kinds of stuff. Right. So the team around it knows what they're doing with it. I just don't know if I'm thinking of it in the right frame of mind, especially since we just talked about Jaws. Matt, we just talked about Jaws.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, oh, we're going to Lost Boys.
We're going from Jaws to Lost Boys.
Yeah, well, that's life sometimes.
Lost Boys shout out.
Apparently it's coming out as a Broadway musical.
Okay.
Lost Boys.
All right.
I had heard that.
Well,
yes.
There you go. All right. Maybe this is my time. All right, let's go to number 3 and also see if if the graphics department took off the guns and ships here in the next slide. Let's find out. Number 3 is what?
So number 3 is an entry in not only my favorite horror franchise of all time, it is one of my favorite franchises, period, of all time.
Okay.
I watched every movie in this franchise multiple times. Every couple of years, I'll sit down and I'll start with part 1 and I'll work my way through all of them. I did not really know which one to pick. I could have made a top 10 and put them all in there, but I went with the one I've watched the most, and that is Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which is part 4 in the series. I love Jason Voorhees. I think Jason Voorhees, he's one of my favorite fictional characters, period. I don't know what it is about him, but there's just something. The look is cool.
The look is cool.
Talk about slashers. I think he's the best slasher.
Okay.
But
he's the best slasher.
Wow.
I think so. Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm shocked. This is our first mention of Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. Like, I'm shocked that we're here and we just now got to any of these. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, so like what I like about this one is I like that there's it's not just a bunch of like rowdy college kids who you just don't, you don't really care about them, right? But this one also has a family that are living next door to a house that's rented by college kids. But so like you get a mom and her 2 kids, and one of the kids is Corey Feldman, who was in the
Lost Boys.
And this was before he went on to do Gremlins. He'd had like an iconic run in the 80s.
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, of course.
The big
three.
That's exactly
Friday the 13th, Gremlins, Dancing with the Stars. Yes.
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
And Crispin Glover is also in this.
Shout out Crispin Glover.
And he played, most people know him as George McFly in Back to the Future, but he's in this and he has a scene where he does this weird dance. And apparently it's like the dance he used to do in the clubs in the 80s. It is ridiculous, but it's so much fun to watch, knowing like you're watching a movie that Jason's going to pop out at any point, and all of a sudden Crispin is just like, busting a move.
I mean, definitely not on drugs.
No, not those guys back then. There's no way.
No way.
No, up and up.
Not Crispin.
So yeah, I've struggled. I was like, okay, well, so I have my favorites in this. Even the remake, I love. So like that almost, but I like part 2, 3, 4. To me, that's one big movie. And I just went with 4. Corey Feldman might have been what edged it out. I don't know. So that.
You seen this movie, Brand?
I have not seen this one. I've seen Friday the 13th. It is a bold choice to go with the fourth one. I haven't even seen it, and I know that that's a bold choice. So I'm going to kind of like choose to just see this as Friday the 13th.
You're going to choose to see it as a different movie.
No, I'm going to try to like just in general. Just in general, Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I like it. I like it. 3. I like that.
Of course you like it because you're seeing it as not the movie that it is.
Well,
I've seen this.
Hey, I'll need it from you.
I've seen this movie at some point. I don't have any recollection of it because we in college we'd be like, let's watch all the Friday the 13th, and so they all just kind of run together.
Choose to see it as a different movie.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
It's hard for me. I can hear how important it is for Matt, and I hear the respect he has for Jason, which is awesome. When you're talking about movies like Jaws and The Exorcist, to tell me that the 4th Jason movie is better than those movies is the kind version is, well, I mean, I guess it's part of your childhood. And the mean version is get out of my house. So for me, like the first Friday the 13th is a really memorable movie and it's really good. I think Jason's obviously an iconic slasher. I think there are better slashers. This is tough. It's tough. You know, I admitted I like Scream 4 as a thing that I was trying to do to build bridges, but I would never put it on this list. This is hard because I do think that the Friday the 13th franchise and knowing, you know, what we know about what he said about decades, I don't think he's going to, you know, if he has Friday the 13th part 2 at number 2, then it's going to get out of hand. What are you going to do about that one? Go, I'm going to choose to see this as a movie I want on the list.
I will say this, if there's another Fridays movie, I rescind by assuming it's a franchise.
I can't look at Friday the 13th part 4 and look at it anything other than you put the fourth part of this series as number 3 all time. That's very, very hard for me.
You have to at least acknowledge that was a bold move.
I can hear how much it means to you. Real tough, Matt.
I stand by it. I can't put part 1 on there. I can't put part 1 because Jason's not in it.
Yes, but it's such a great origin story.
Yeah, I mean, and you do have Kevin Bacon in it, but like I need Jason. So like. Sure. This is a standalone movie, even though there's a number.
How is this received? I don't know. I fundamentally don't know. How is it?
Probably not well.
Okay.
I don't know. Like critically, I don't think any of these movies, for the most part.
Jaws. Oh, you mean all of the Friday the 13th
slashers?
Yeah,
the slasher game, like
correct.
Especially sequels. You know.
Yeah. This is tough.
It's a comfort food.
If you had chucked this in at 10 and given the comfort food argument, I maybe could have bought it. This is hard. This is hard, Matt. I'm trying to think of best here. I'm trying to even think of favorite here.
Well, hey, let's let them cook. Let's go to number 2.
All right,
let's see what happens here.
Okay, you got confidence. It's not the Friday the 13th part 2.
I
you know what? Now I kind of hope that it is.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's Friday the 13th part 3. No, it's 1978's Halloween.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're doing things.
Starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasance. Like it's a perfect movie. It's a perfect movie. Like, and honestly, now, save for the very opening, you could probably run this on regular TV, unedited. Like, it's fairly tame, but it's going back to Jaws. It's a lot of like, you don't see certain things. So like, there's the unknown, there's the suspense of like, until you see Michael Myers show up, you know. He was like, I think he's even in the credits as the Boogeyman or the Shape. I think it's the Shape. He didn't even get a name in the credits until like sequels. Like he's just, and again, going similarly to The Strangers, like it was kind of random, you know, like he was like making his way back to his childhood town and to his house, but it was kind of like, well, you're in my house. Like,
what are you doing in my house?
What are you doing in my house?
Yeah.
So yeah, Halloween. I love this movie. I've seen this in theaters multiple times. I watch it every Halloween. It's not Halloween until I watch this movie.
Yeah.
Great flick. There is something just scary about man walking, just stomping towards you.
Yeah.
And like, it's like some kind of like, you're not even human. It's just like an unmovable force and he's just coming to kill you. And there's something about that that's just like, oh yeah, that's a scary idea. And a franchise that I think, you know, they've
still has some lifeblood.
Still has some life. Like the new ones are fun.
50 years
fun
later.
flicks.
Yeah.
And so it definitely needs to be on the list, I think.
Yeah, John Carpenter's got to be on this list. Halloween's got to be on this list. Michael Myers has to be on this list. Theme amazing. Jamie Lee Curtis, unbelievable. John Carpenter, a legend in the horror genre.
Yes.
Yeah, Halloween. Yes, absolutely. I'm not like
I mean, it's Halloween.
This is proper movie, proper placement. I know we could sit here and wax poetic about Halloween, but come on, we can't have this list without Halloween. Yeah. You can't have this list without The Exorcist. Can't have it without Halloween. Can't have it without Jaws. These are foundational, and they're all around the same time. 73, 78. Yeah. So this is pretty important stuff here, and you crushed it. Halloween.
That gets us to 1. Before you dive into number 1. A reminder of what we have here for those listening along at home. Number 10, The Strangers. Number 9, It. Number 8, The Exorcist. Number 7, Barbarian. Number 6, Scream. Number 5, dun-dun. It's Jaws. Number 4, The Lost Boys. Number 3, Friday the 13th. 4, the final chapter, and then number 2 is Halloween.
Halloween.
That gets us to number 1, which is what, Matt?
Number 1 is 1960s Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock.
Hell yeah.
This movie is is perfect. It is Norman Bates is the granddaddy to every horror baddie. That especially slashers,
let him cook, everybody.
You've got Michael Myers, you've got Jason, you've got Freddy, you've got all those. Norman Bates was the guy who inspired them. Like the performance by Anthony Perkins, he is like equal parts guy next door and creepy as hell. Like he's scary, but also you kind of like, oh, maybe just misunderstood. Nope, this is a scary dude. And for the longest time in the movie, like you're not watching a horror movie in the beginning. You're watching almost a heist movie. Mm-hmm. Like it's a crime movie at first. And all of a sudden it takes a turn and it changed the game. Hitchcock famously would not allow theaters to let people into the screening until when the movie started officially, you could not enter. You could leave, but you couldn't get in. Because he didn't want anything spoiled. And he funded this movie himself because the studio pushed back on so much stuff. The shower scene is iconic. It is a masterclass in editing, especially considering like they didn't have Final Cut or Avid back then. Like they were cutting film. And it's a chef's kiss. And the fact that he chose to put it in black and white not only was a budgetary reason, but not for nothing, it made it even cooler. This movie was one of the few movies that scared the crap out of me. And I saw it as an adult. Like I saw it late. Like it was so good. It's so good. If you have not seen Psycho, you have to see it. Anybody who makes a top 10 list for horror movies, if you don't have Psycho on it, but if you don't have Psycho number 1, you failed.
So excellent, Matt. I don't know how much I can add, but you thought Jaws was boring, Brand. Don't do it to me.
Well, I'm not proud of this.
You think Psycho's boring?
I've never seen Psycho.
Oh my God.
But on the other hand, Dan, hold on. Imagine being Bran in this moment.
Yeah, I envy you. Do you know any?
I don't know anything about Psycho. Obviously I've heard the name Norman Bates, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm not familiar with the story of Psycho. This is the promise that I'll make to you, Matt. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I'm not gonna mess with this. I'm not gonna move it because I haven't seen it. I'm not gonna move it.
Good.
I also promise that I will watch it before Halloween. I'm maybe not on Halloween, but before Halloween, I'm going to watch this movie and I will give you my thoughts on this movie.
Yes.
Dude, you sold me on it though.
Spooky time, take it to the tape.
There you go.
Oh, I would 100% watch this movie with you
Spooky
for a take
Psycho.
to the tape. I would do that in a heartbeat. This isn't the first movie to contain a twist ending. It isn't, but it might as well be. This movie has a really fun twist at the end of it.
Oh, I love a twist!
And I was 12 years old. You know, my parents didn't let me watch a lot of movies in the theaters, but my dad loved movies. So like at home, it would be like in the theater, it would be like, we're not going to see that. It's got these things in it. At home, it would be like, let me introduce you to this movie called The Sting. Let me introduce you to this movie called Psycho. And I remember being 12 or 13 years old. And the end of this movie, I just had to sit a little bit and just unpack how deranged Norman Bates is.
Yeah.
I had to really come to terms with the fact that Norman Bates isn't out there. Norman Bates isn't someone I know, because this movie gets in your skin and it just lives in you rent free that someone like this existed and just played the long game in just such a terrifying way. And virtually all of the horror takes place off screen. I would say 99.9%. So Steven Spielberg, who reinvented horror and blockbuster, did it because he loved Alfred Hitchcock. So there's always a giant you're standing on the shoulders of. You know what I mean? And what Hitchcock does in this movie, oh my gosh, he had made scary movies before this movie, right? It's not his first scary movie, but the deftness by which he directs and by which he edits allows you to get some of the adventure thriller of North by Northwest, some of the what is going on of Vertigo, some of the
What are you
like,
doing in my house?
like the uneasiness of Dial M for Murder. Like, and I'm not sure if those movies were all released before this one. I'm just saying this is his, in my opinion, his best movie. All you Birds fans out there, The Birds isn't even a top 5 Alfred Hitchcock movie, in my opinion. This movie is peak Hitchcock. It's peak horror. As long as this or Jaws was one, I was fine. Matty Strahl coming through. This movie is one of my if I did a top 10 movies of all time list,
Wow.
this is on that top 10 list. I
Same.
love
And
this
Jaws.
movie. I don't know if Jaws is top 10 all time, but
Really?
I think it would be. I would have to think about it. Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would say that number 2 through 10 on this list would not exist without Psycho.
Agreed.
Like I think Psycho inspired every single
Okay.
one of those
Agreed.
stories in some way.
Listen, I have a lot of blind spots in my.
Psycho's inexcusable for someone that loves
I
the
have
scary.
I think the most glaring blind spot for me that doesn't really make sense is Hitchcock. Like I just haven't seen Hitchcock.
You've seen
And so
one Hitchcock movie?
I've seen The Birds. So like big blind spot. It doesn't make sense. Like everything I know about Hitchcock, it's like I should have guzzled those movies up, and I just
North by
didn't.
Northwest is a movie that I legitimately think doesn't age a day. Like I think it is as entertaining and as gripping now as it was.
Yeah. I just saw that in theaters actually.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
So good.
Yeah. And it's the main character, just to put a little bit of extra sizzle, like
Sizzle.
Norman Bates is loosely based on Ed Gein, who, that they've got that show on Netflix now, like it's kind of resurrected into the cultural zeitgeist, if you will. But just to give you a little something more to interest you in dialing that movie up. Definitely
All right,
watch that.
I'll dial him for murder. All right, we're gonna take
Great,
a
you
break.
nailed it. It was really good. What a top 10 list. You and I get a chance to mess around with.
That's exactly what we're gonna do on the other side of this break here on the Diss List. Diss List with Brandon Dan. Yeah.
Woo, boy.
Gosh, when he turns around to
It's
conduct.
tough. And he does a strut, which is just uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable strut.
Nah.
Yeesh. Can't hear that.
Tough day.
Come on,
He's
just
off
sit
camera.
down, Casey. Just sit down. Thank you.
Can you even? All right, we got a lot to get to
We do,
here.
we do.
Matt brought his list of top
right.
10 scaries, which, by the way, just in case you forgot over the course of the break, here it is again. The Strangers at 10, It at 9, Exorcist at 8, Barbarian at 7, Scream at 6, Jaws at 5, The Lost Boys at 4, Friday the 13th, the final chapter at 3, Halloween, not Halloween Town, Halloween at number 2, and number 1, Psycho. I've made my list. I've checked it twice.
Okay. Go ahead. Hit me.
As I mentioned, I'm not going to touch Psycho.
Thank God.
I've heard enough.
You'd have lost immediately.
So there were some movies that like came to mind for me,
Yeah.
right? Of movies that I would maybe want to consider on the scary movie list that didn't quite make the cut. I want to give a shout out to a movie. It's still up there in like top 3 most fun I've had at the theaters, which was Paranormal Activity. Just an absolute blast.
Yeah, it's a fun theater movie.
Super low budgets. And it was just a movie that you had to experience with a group. And if you did, it was a blast.
Yeah.
But didn't make my cut. Sixth Sense, movie that scared the crap out of me as a
Sense is a
kid.
great one,
First time I saw it, like it was maybe the first like scary movie that I saw growing up. I mean, M. Night really just was right in my wheelhouse.
Yes.
So like Signs, the alien coming in, Sixth Sense, like the
Of course.
all of it.
Yes.
There's a lot there. I didn't include that one either. So here's what I've done. At number 10, I'm going to take out The Strangers. I don't think you're surprised by
Get
that.
out of here. I would never.
I'm going to include a movie. I'm going to do this crazy thing where I'm going to take out personal bias and I'm going to include a movie that
What?
even though I don't necessarily think it is as scary as it was potentially built up to be, I do think it belongs on the list of top 10 scary movies, and that is The Shining. I think The Shining belongs on a top 10 list of scary movies, even though for me, like, I didn't see it until I was an adult. Are you leaving me? Bye-bye. Until I was an adult. And so it'd been built up as like, you got to see this. And I watched, and there, aside from a couple of scenes, I was just kind of like, all right, whatever. I guess it was scary. But it is iconic. It is should be on a top 10 list of scary movies. So I've included that. I'm also going to bring in, for me, it is the pinnacle of modern day scary movies. It's a movie I love so much. Has it gone a little too far at this point in the franchise? Yes, it has. But I'm gonna include The Conjuring. I love this movie. It is so scary. I so many great, just like the clap scene, phenomenal. Just so many, and obviously it has birthed so many movies in this franchise, be it Conjuring sequels or just Annabelle, The Nun, etc. Do we need all that? No, we don't. But it has definitely, birthed a lot of different movies, and so I'm including The Conjuring on this list because I love it so much. And to me, as a modern boy, I'm a modern boy.
The Conjuring's a great movie.
Conjuring is a great movie.
Hepper was there. Were you there for that?
I was there.
Yeah.
We watched it together.
That movie in the theater is one of my favorite horror movie going experiences of all time.
And
Great
so
movie.
here is what we're going to do. We are going to do The Shining at 10. It's a clean replace. I am then going to, this is just me. I think Pennywise is as scary as it gets. Just from a straight up as his clown scary, but then what he is and what he becomes terrifying. So I'm going to replace Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and I'm going to move it up to 3. I'm going to leave The Exorcist at 8, which probably I shouldn't have, but here we are anyway. And then I'm going to do a flip.
Yeah.
To me, I just freaking love Barbarian. I love it so much, and I'm going to do this bold thing where I go, you know what? If I'm picking a scary movie, leading up to Halloween,
top 4. Wow.
I'm picking Barbarian over Scream. And I know it's a bold move, but that's what I'm doing. So I just did a little replace there. It's still close. They're battling it out. Jaws, I left at 5. That's right. I did a clean replace. I got rid of The Lost Boys because I hadn't seen it and also didn't sound that scary to me. And I'm including a movie that truly terrified me with The Conjuring. It at 3, Halloween 2, Psycho 1. Thoughts on my list and what I have done to it, Matt?
Without mentioning any honorable mentions.
It's solid. This is a solid list. Like The Conjuring, I just rewatched all of them. It stands up. Like that movie.
The original
is
Conjuring. Oh my
terrifying.
God. Yeah.
Yes. And I love the Ed and Lorraine characters.
Oh, it's great.
I know that based on real people, but I just love those when they're on screen. I'm in. So that's really cool. The flip on Scream and Barbarian works. That's fine. Like they're right, kind of in the same spot. And The Shining is iconic. As a Stephen King boy, I actually just listened to the audiobook of that like a month or two ago because I'm making my way through all of them again, and I forgot how good that is. The Shining, the movie, bothered me for a while because it's not a great adaptation.
There it is.
It's definitely more of Kubrick film and less of Stephen King adaptation, but it's an iconic movie.
Yeah.
The scene in the poster with Jack shoving his face through the door,
the
that's
twins,
been spoofed so many times.
Yeah.
So this is good. This is a good.
Okay,
list.
all right. That gets us today. I feel good. That's good.
That's a good list.
Sometimes I get to this point in the show,
Dude,
and
I
the
love
guests,
both of yours. Conjuring, great. Yeah.
It's Conjuring high, maybe, but I just wanted to be able to do a clean replace so I could flip too. So that's just what I did there. All right.
So,
all right,
Maddie,
Dan.
I had a lot of movies that I wanted on this list, including The Conjuring and The Shining and Poltergeist and Nightmare on Elm Street, which I think is a pretty iconic movie.
That's right. We didn't. We
didn't mention Freddy. But what I decided to do was, after seeing the list, I do think you have Exorcist, Jaws, Psycho, Halloween. For me, that was the Mount Rushmore of what you've given me. And so I either could try to add more iconic movies, or I could add 2 that I think underrepresented and are really, 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 really good and would make my top 10, and then try to make it to where I get my 4 that I want at the top of the top. And that's what I ended up doing. So the 2 movies I'm adding an A24 joint. I'm adding Hereditary. This is Ari Aster. I think this is his best movie. This is the only movie I've ever seen in the theater and turned a light on when I got home. This is not jump scare. It is not slasher. It is Toni Collette sitting around, and after about 30 seconds, you notice there is a demon in the background. It is.
We saw this together.
It is
in what may have been a haunted theater.
It is.
I'm not convinced.
It was dark.
I'm not.
It's too dark. The movie theater is too dark. I couldn't see to get out of the theater.
We saw it at Camelot, which is the worst of the theaters in Greenville.
Shout out Camelot, Lawrence Road.
And shout out.
Yeah.
And outside of the one big boy,
the theaters, the screens aren't bright enough, and, they don't have those little lights on. It's so
we're
dark.
also in the furthest one.
Yeah,
from
the back of the back.
Could
of
have
the
been
house.
haunted.
Yes.
Could have been a haunted theater.
This movie is just expertly done. If you want, like, demon possession movies to me are fun to watch because none of them ring true at all. Like, I don't buy into it. It doesn't bother me for a bit. It's so silly that it's a fun time. And if it's a haunted house contraption like The Conjuring, even better. The pops and the creaks and the hide and claps, that's fun. This is the flip side. Hereditary is the flip side of those movies, which is there are no bumps and creaks. It's just the demon's real and it's coming for you and it's going to get you to do it. And it's not in a hurry because they don't have any time. So it could stand up on the roof up there or in the ceiling and just watch you for a bit. And I got to be honest, first time I left going, maybe demons are real. It is that incredibly terrifying. Toni Collette, if I have one critique of this movie is Toni Collette, this is a spoiler. I'm going to give you 3 seconds to close your ears. 3, 2, 1. Toni Collette's not around for the finale. That's my one complaint about this movie. This movie is basically an indie A24 horror, and it is brutally terrifying. And if I'm going to have a movie that's weird and different on the list, I'm taking out Strangers. I'm putting Hereditary full replace. You don't have to put my list up yet, but yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to, this may not be true, but it feels like Hereditary was kind of the birth of the A24 indie horror.
Yeah.
That's kind of snowballed a bit. And so.
And Ari Aster's made some interesting movies since Hereditary. I mean, I thought Eddington was real interesting. I even thought Beau is Afraid is interesting. Florence Pugh. Now, Midsommar, what a trip.
Yep.
But this movie is unadulterated terrifying.
Yeah.
And if you think it's boring, you weren't watching. That's the beauty of this movie is that if you left and went, it was just boring and there were no jump scares, you missed it all. You missed the movie. And it makes you think. It's great. It's an all-timer. And
flick.
I think in 50 years, people are going to be talking about Hereditary
I was playing around with this movie too.
And it's so good. The other one I chose is a personal favorite of mine. It's Jordan Peele's Get Out.
Oh, yeah.
This movie is, a lot of slashers just leave social commentary at the door in exchange for just blood and gore, and that's all well and good. And who doesn't love being entertained at the movie? This movie is funny. It's got great social commentary, and it also is absolutely terrifying, all in one package. Jordan Peele is a filmmaker I want to see make more movies, and I love Us. I think Us is a polarizing movie. I love that movie. This is his scariest, best movie. Daniel Kaluuya is unbelievable in this movie, and I think it belongs on this list. So
yeah, what's great about that movie is it's also like you think demons are scary.
Yeah.
What about racism?
Yeah. What about real live white demons?
It's just like, that's that.
Yeah. Bradley Whitford, really fun in this movie.
Yeah.
So in putting those two movies on the list, I got to talk about two movies that we may not have gotten to talk about. And I also got to keep them low on the list so that I could really make sure that I believe of your top 10. And I got to be honest, if you told me this was the Mount Rushmore of horror movies, I would stick with it. So what I did was I did a straight replace Hereditary for The Strangers, just straight up. I left it where it was, and then I replaced the fourth Friday the 13th movie, which I think, if we're honest, I don't know if that movie's good. I don't. But a part 4 in a horror list I think is really tough. I put in Get Out, and then I swapped it with The Exorcist. That allowed me, that switch then replaced, allowed me to put The Exorcist up in the pantheon of great horror movies, and then I still Get Out down there at 8. So I did that. That was one flip in my second replace. Barbarian stays at 7. Scream, I tried to find a way to get Scream higher because I do believe it's top 5 for this list. Had to stay at number 6 because what I did was I just switched Lost Boys and Jaws.
Sure.
It was hard for me to see Corey Feldman ahead of Steven Spielberg. And so I switched Lost Boys and Jaws. And what that allowed me to do was talk about Hereditary and Get Out, two movies I really stand behind as really great movies, and then have the top 4 that I wanted. So I'm going to read from 1 down because after that, that's like, I'm really proud of what I've done here. 1 Psycho, 2 Halloween, 3 Exorcist, 4 Jaws, perfect, no notes, 5 Lost Boys, 6 Scream, 7 Barbarian, 8 Get Out, 9 It, 10 Hereditary. That's
there
my
you go.
list. Yeah.
All right, Matt.
Yeah.
Lot to deal with here. Here's Dan's list. Here's my list.
What do you think about my list?
Bounds for. Oh yeah, yes.
What do you think about my list?
Well, you both have chosen movies that were on my essentials list.
Yeah.
Here we
Didn't
go.
make the personal list, so that's going to make things a little bit more difficult.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And also, I did send Cece a note last night, and I said, if either of them try to put Long Legs on the list, they immediately lose. Like it's not.
No.
So, and you didn't do that, so
Not
that's
all
huge.
time. No,
I do
it's a
love
good
Long
movie.
Legs.
It's not all time.
But yeah, you both have you added iconic movies that I struggled with getting on the list, but we're on that other list. So Get Out, everything you said. That movie is talk about redefining things that we think we already have experienced in terms of movies. It's outstanding. And there's a lot of humor. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Lil Ray, he's so funny, but
Yeah.
he's on top of it from the start.
That's right.
Like he knows something's up.
Yeah.
It's such a I've been meaning to rewatch that movie. Hereditary, that is a movie where I left probably closer to what you were your description of you didn't get it. I was like, yeah, I enjoyed it, but when I got home, by the time I got home, 25-minute drive, I was creeped out, and I spent hours reading reviews.
Oh.
I don't think I had Letterboxd. I think it was IMDb. I was looking at reviews, and I'm like, what are people thinking about this movie? Because I had nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
And now, I have another friend who's into this stuff, and I'll just go, and they immediately shiver, So
Yeah.
solid 2 entries, and the flips make total sense. Yes, of course, Jaws for the masses, Jaws in front of Lost Boys.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. And yeah, it's good. This is a
Great.
good list.
All right. It's tough sledding here, Matt.
This is very tough sledding.
Yeah.
Because the problem for me is that you both put at least one movie that I on each of your lists that I wanted on the list. It's not. It makes it more difficult.
So we're gonna get a good list regardless.
Well, and listen,
for you.
and I
That's
don't
good.
want to I don't want to keep arguing about this. I did keep Friday the 13th 4
Part
on
4.
there, and
And
I not for
true.
you know
I kept Lost Boys, and he
Sure.
didn't. So you there's really the
one of
problem
those is higher
that
than the other, but it's fine.
the problem is
my
that
favorites.
you just don't. We each took off one of your favorites, and we each added 2 really great movies.
It's true.
And we kept them low. You know what I mean?
Good luck.
Oh my gosh. Can we take a 2-hour break and go ahead and
Casey would love that, but
Casey
I
would
don't
love
want to
it,
keep
but I
looking at
can't
them.
do it.
So
Yeah, no. Pick a list, Matt.
All right. Well, I think both lists are outstanding.
Thank
I really do love both lists. It's gonna inspire some viewing for me over the next week and a half. I think that I ultimately have to go with Brand's list.
Brian, you did it.
Here's why.
Congratulations.
Oh
He
my
left
gosh.
Jason on there, and you have no idea how much I love Jason.
Yeah, that
Also,
got me.
The Conjuring is
Great.
great, and you also found a way to get a second Stephen King on there.
Yeah.
So as a Stephen King fan, that's huge.
Conjuring and Shining are
Man,
both
it
great
hurts.
ads.
It hurts. It also hurts to not pick the other list. I don't want to
Sure.
make
well, that's the game.
If I
these
could
are
argue,
solid. These are solid.
if
You
I
didn't
could-
make it easy.
if I could argue, Brand for both sides, Brand's list is probably more iconic 1 to 10. My top 4 is the better top 4.
I don't disagree with that.
That's how if I'm looking at you look at this list, all of the names on Brand's list aside from part 4 Friday the 13th, but all you see in that poster is Friday the 13th. If you were to just
Yeah,
look
if you
at this
just
list,
think about it as a whole.
you could just clock it and go, I've seen all 10 of those movies.
Yeah.
My list doesn't have that, but my top 4 is correct. So that is either way you picked, you were going to get something right and something wrong there, I think.
I can't argue that at all.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Matt, what a time. You know your stuff. This was great.
if I can just win next week's candy, I'll be the king of Halloween.
King of Halloween. That's all
And
you
that's
really care
big.
about.
That's
Yeah.
big.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
big.
For sure.
Come back next week. Halloween candies. Very excited about it. We have a guest,
A very special guest who's a candy fanatic.
like that's the thing he tells you.
He
when
tells
you meet
people that
him.
he likes
Like, I
candy.
love
It's in his Instagram bio.
Yeah, so it's a big deal. So very excited about that. Until then,
Keep dissing those lists.
okay? It's the Diss List with Brandon Day.